Hi there. It's day 46 of our Through the New Testament in 1 year. Today we're reading the second half of Matthew 27. This is one of the hardest chapters in the Bible, the crucifixion. So this will take a few minutes. So let's read this. Jesus is mocked. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole Roman cohort around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. And after twisting together a crown of thorns, they put it on his head. That would hurt, right? A reed in his right hand, and they knelt down before him and mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews." They spat on him and took the reed and began to beat him on the head. After they had mocked him, they took the scarlet robe off him and put his own garments back on him and led him away to crucify him. Okay. Now remember, before this, yesterday, they had scourged him and beat him, right, with a whip that had 9 cords and had pieces of bone and metal, and stripped most of the skin off of his back. He would have been unrecognizable at this point, okay? And they did this stuff after that, okay? As they were coming out, they found a man from Cyrene named Simon, whom they pressed into service to bear his cross. Okay, it doesn't say that people being crucified carried their own crosses as part of the punishment. But he was so badly beaten that he wasn't able to do that. Doesn't say it in here, but it will say it in other Gospels. Hey, crucifixion. And when they came to the place called Golgotha, which means place of a skull, they gave him wine to drink mixed with gall, and after tasting it, he was unwilling to drink. And when they had crucified him, they divided up his garments among themselves by casting lots. And sitting down, they began to keep watch over him there. And above his head, they put the charge against him, which read, "This is Jesus, King of the Jews." In Aramaic, probably, right? At that time, 2 robbers were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. And those passing by were hurling abuse at him, wagging their heads and saying, "You who are going to destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are Son of God, come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests also, along with the scribes and elders, were mocking him, saying, "He saved others. He cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now, if he delights in him, for he said, 'I am the Son of God.'" The robbers who had been crucified with him were also insulting him with the same words. There is another story, right? Now from the 6th hour, darkness fell upon the land until the 9th hour. Yeah, that's noon. Okay. About the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani." That is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" This is the one spot where God turned his head away because Jesus was bearing all of the sin of the world. Right? God does not look upon sin. And some of those who were standing there, when they heard it, began saying, "This man is calling for Elijah." Immediately one of them ran, and taking a sponge, he filled it with sour wine and put it on a reed and gave him a drink. But the rest of them said, "Let us see whether Elijah will come and save him." And Jesus cried out again with a loud voice and yielded up his spirit. Right. So there you go. That's hard to read, It's just when you think about it. All this stuff. Oh, there's more Matthew 27 tomorrow. And it keeps talking about what was happened, buried. See, tomorrow's very short, okay? In a regular study, I would have done this whole chapter, but we'll keep the days in order here. So, Jesus has been crucified. There you go. Like I said, that's always hard for me to read. It never gets easier, okay? Thinking of all the stuff, in the movie that was done 10 or 15 years ago by Mel Gibson of the Passion of the Christ, if you've ever seen that. I would recommend everybody watch that once, okay? I saw it once in the theater, And in a theater setting, I was forced to sit through the whole thing. Hardest movie I've ever watched. And of course, when the DVD came out, I bought it, okay, 10 or 11 years ago. I've never opened it, okay? I can't watch that movie a second time, okay? It's just too painful, right, to think what somebody went through for you. So think about that. But tomorrow we'll keep going. Give us a like if you think about it. Catch up on anything you may have missed. And we'll conclude the story tomorrow, at least Matthew 27. So until then, we'll see you.